Yeah, 100%. So
Absolutely.
the final topic I want to throw at you is one that you have lots to say on. You just touched on it kind of from the professional angle. A year ago, last July, you were very new on LinkedIn, and you just kind of you ran with it, you took it, you've really elevated your professional career, and like Andrew said, you've climbed in that food chain. And then in your personal life, you shared quite a lot on your post today, and I know you have on previous posts of like challenges that you have in your personal life and physically, and what you've had to overcome and what you have to deal with, and it's really inspiring. So um, job seekers deal with a lot of rejection, and there's a lot of burnt out individuals out there, a lot of people that will listen to this very tired. What's your advice, what are your key takeaways from your own experiences of when you're faced so much adversity personally and professionally, and you just feel beat down? What are your key lessons for those listening?
Um, there's a lot that I could, as you pointed out, that I can say about this. I think the number one thing is it's okay to feel upset in the moment. Like, it's okay to be mad that you didn't get a job or you didn't hear back on a certain thing that you thought you were perfect for, or like no one's answering your messages. It's totally reasonable to feel small and invisible and upset about these specific things. I would caution individuals, one, feel those feelings, but also be very careful about what you put on social media specifically. Um, Flaming recruiters for ghosting you, and by ghosting you, I mean not responding to your application, is not going to specifically get you very far. Um, Recruiters, like everyone else, are people with a lot of deadlines and a lot of positions to fill. And luckily at Blizzard, this isn't really the case, but a lot of different companies, a lot of recruiting teams are very, very understaffed. So it's not a personal thing if someone doesn't get back to you or you don't hear it
Mhm.
back about a specific application. So you're allowed to be upset about it. That's okay. I would say just don't go on social media because you never know who might see that and how that might negatively affect you as well. So feel what you're feeling, be cautious about how you express that publicly. I would also say that it's super important to take every single failure that you have as a lesson. And sometimes they are just one offs, in that sometimes it's an application with 2,000 people that applied, and you applied 3 days after it opened. And so the recruiter just straight up did not see your resume. Like, that is a strong possibility that that was not open. It's actually funny enough, I applied to Blizzard 6 times throughout my career before I got my position for my before I got offered my current position in a LinkedIn InPail message. I have never gotten a screener call at Blizzard before that one, before a recruiter specifically reached out to me. And I asked some of the recruiters who I knew later were working on some of those positions, and they went and they were like, "Oh, let me go check." And it's just like, yeah, my application just was not opened, just because there were so many different people that were applying for it. Um, so there's gonna be one-offs like that. There's gonna be things like that, but also be sure that after every interview, you're really interview, application, anything, evaluate what is not going on, what's going wrong. Try to get feedback if you can. If you can't, like, different, like if you're not obviously effing up in like your interview or anything, and you genuinely don't know what the problem is, ask for help. Even if it's not from that direct person that you're talking to, any that direct team, anything, you can ask people in a similar field. Like, mostly even on LinkedIn, you can just make a post like, "Hey, I am a software engineer looking for a position in gaming. Can someone give me any feedback on my resume?" You will
Right.
probably get some people who will apply reply to you. They and give you some help, give you some advice on anything. Even just That's the number one thing people don't do, is they don't ask for help. And that is something that could take you very, very far. Another thing is, like, once you kind of learn what the issue is and why you might not be getting where you want to be is to really think about, can I fix that with the tools that I currently have right now? For me, I wanted to leave my dinky little one person marketing positions, and I really wanted to work in entertainment again. Gaming was a stretch goal for me. I didn't think it was going to happen. I genuinely had no semblance of any hope that that was ever going to happen. I just wanted to get out, and I wanted to move back to California. And I did 100 interviews with about 20 companies that I did not get the job for most of them. I got a few offers that I did not accept, but I largely did not get them. And I had to learn very hard. There were some skills that, even though I was learning on the spot and I was trying to teach myself things and I was learning strategy, that I just did not know because I did not have that in my formal education. So I went back to school to kind of learn some of this jargon and 3-letter acronyms and some of the more complicated things that I just had no idea about. And that helped me a lot with my interviews in the future. And after I took that class, and I know it's really popular right now to kind of criticize and go against the idea of formal education and secondary education, but that's something that really works for me. Like, I don't do particularly well. I don't feel comfortable when I don't know things, like actively working in an environment. Like, I want to be able to like fully put myself into my work when I do something, and I want to know what it is. So being able to just to sit down and be like, this is a specific time where you are specifically telling me what this is, and I'm not wasting anyone else's time that I'm working with, that works really well for me. Obviously, that does not work well for other people, but just finding out what works for you and how you can fill those skill gaps is essential. Always staying and continuing to improve yourself. Again, that could be in job search, that could be in education, that could be in anything. Maybe that's like literally just going to the gym 10 minutes a day because you realize that you're stressed all the time and you need to burn off some steam.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, always continuing to improve yourself in any way, and whatever that means to you, is so essential when you're encountered with the idea of failure.
About the public venting is really key for professionals to remember, because it is out there on LinkedIn a lot. You know, the flaming recruiters is something that we see. And then, you know, one of our recruiter friends, I won't name drop him, but we all know him, but he responded and he was like, gotta remember, these recruiters are human. And then the comments that came back, and I was like, oh man, that's why probably some of us don't comment on those flame posts. But yeah, I've advised friends that as well. Just don't publicly vent. Even find your safe space to feel. Your feelings are valid. Find a safe space to be heard, but it is not on a public site where recruiters, hiring managers, CEOs, heck, board of, you know, the board could see it, you know, for a company. So just go to your DMs, go to your group chats, go to your phone, go to your therapist, go to your spouse, your siblings, go to those people that you can vent to all day long. But LinkedIn is not the place. Go to Reddit, create an anonymous username where no one knows you, and go to Reddit, and you can scream from the rooftops. But LinkedIn's public. So that was I really like that point you made, Aaron. Andrew, did you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that really appreciated your perspective on, you know, looking at everything as a learning lesson and staying positive through it. Especially in the job search. I think I look at the job search like, you know, it's kind of like an ever evolving process. You should be getting better, you know, as you interview more and have more conversations, get more exposure, you can kind of learn what's working, what's not working, maybe where the gaps are. And I really like your tips about, you know, asking for feedback and, you know, being willing to kind of open up and accept that feedback, because I think, you know, at the end of the day, it's a really difficult process, no matter who you are and what position you're in. And so every little bit that you can kind of make it easier for yourself and look at it as a chance to be better moving forward. And I'll tell you this too, it's like, that'll help you 5 to 10 years from now, you know, when you're interviewing for another role, right? Like, it's not just for today. It's like, hey, like, this is a learned skill, interviewing and the job search is really a learned skill. So really appreciate your thoughts on that.
They're all drops. They're all drops in the bucket. They're all tiny little deposits, little investments. To wrap up here, Erin, and there's going to be people that tune into this that perhaps are meeting you for the first time, your lovely self. So where can they find you? Obviously, you know, Erin Goldsmith on LinkedIn, but where else can people find you and communicate with you and engage?
I am at Erin Goldsmith on pretty much all social media platforms.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. You can reach Erin with that handle everywhere. And my last thing I will say,
all at once.
The last thing I will say, because I've been dying to talk about it, is your neon lights, because we weren't able to talk about it at the start, but I want to get one for the talent table, right? And I've got white walls all around me that I can put it on. But those things are pricey, man. Like I got a link off my friend, and those things are pricey.
Yeah, I got this one off of it's mirrored. I got this one off of Amazon.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad, and it's also powered by my phone. This is a really important part for the podcast.
Oh, you can change colors.
Yeah, I can change the colors from my phone. So
the issue. Oh, there you go. Party mode. Well, the issue is, Erin, the issue is with obviously my one, it would be more personalized. So I went to a site where they actually like create them. But yeah, it was pricey. But anyway, we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about it off cam. But we Erin, we just want to thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for bringing just your realness. You're so genuine, down to earth, and then all of the tips and tricks that you had for job seekers and for professionals to elevate their careers. So we appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. Alrighty.